All the popular FPS games use weapon sway, making the weapon move slightly as you do. It's a small detail that adds a lot of polish to your game, and if you find this helpful, please subscribe, so let's slide in. This video is basically an updated and improved version of a video Garbage made on weapon sway, and that's linked in the description. So let's start by opening up Godot, and I have my player here. So on my player I control my head node, and that's basically a container for the camera. But if you're controlling the camera itself, you can put the sway as a child to the camera. So I've made a sway node as a child to the one I'm controlling, so the head. And inside of the sway I have my weapons. So here I have my rifle, and I also have my hammer, for example. And on the sway node you want to attach a new script. I already have one here, so I'm going to open it up. And inside of the script you want to add a sway for the left, the right, up and down, and then the normal. If you only want it swaying left and right, you can remove the up and down. And then we can add another couple of variables, your mouse movement for the Y and the X, and then the threshold. So this will keep track on whether you've moved more or less with your mouse movement than this threshold, and then it will basically sway the weapon. And then we have a sway lerp, and this basically makes it smoother when it moves around. So you could export these two if you want to, and then control them in the properties. Then we add a function input. This is a built-in function, and inside of here we want to check if the event is input event mouse motion. And this is when you move the mouse around. Mouse movement Y equal to minus event.relative.x, and relative means the position of the mouse. And on the Y we make it equal to minus, and then the x-axis. And on the mouse movement X, make it equal to the relative.y. And then in the physics process, which is another built-in function in Godot, you can ignore this if statement, because I have a special way of handling input in my game. So I'm gonna unindent this. So inside of the physics function process, we check if the mouse movement Y is not null. So as long as you have moved your mouse, it won't be equal to null. And then we're checking if the movement Y is more than the threshold. And if it is, the rotation of the sway. Since this script is attached to the sway node, it will control the rotation. If you say rotation of the sway, the rotation is equal to the rotation, and then we lerp the rotation with the sway amount and then the sway lerp multiplied by delta. And if the movement Y is less than the minus threshold, then we're moving to the right. And this is basically what was covered in the garbage video. And then if you want to add it going up and down, you want to add these two if statements. And this checks if the mouse movement X is more than the threshold. Then we want to make it go up, and then we also want to check for the downwards. And then finally we want to end it off with, if none of these if statements are true, we want to make it go back to the normal. So that's what this else statement does, and it makes the rotation equal to the sway normal. So that's all the code we need. And then we want to control the exporter variables, and they are in the inspector. I'm gonna drag this out a little bit. For this example I'm gonna make it 0.5 to make it more noticeable. And for the sway right you wanna do minus, so I'm gonna do minus 0.5. And then for the sway up, if you decided to add that, we want to change the x. So sway up will be minus 0.5 and sway down will be 0.5. And then you want to keep the sway normal at 0, because this is the origin position that it will move back to. And then the sway threshold, this takes in how much you've moved the mouse. And I think 5 is a pretty good value. You could decrease it to something lower like 1, but I wouldn't keep it at 0 because then it won't move back to the normal. And now if I save this and we run the scene, and now when I move the mouse around, you can see that it's moving in the direction I move the mouse, and then it moves back to the normal position. This is a little bit too much, and I think 0.1 for all of these values is really good. Maybe 0.2 is also good. Thanks for watching, and special thanks to the Ko-Fi members for making this video possible. If you want to support my work and have your name be featured in future videos, check out the Ko-Fi in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.